Hi, welcome to another episode of Spyt-Takes. My name is Jens Anderson, aka Spytle, and I am your host. This is my lovely co-host and wife, Ellen Anderson.
Hello, and we've got Penny and Bunsen here today.
That's
as well.
right. Although Penny and Bunsen, it's hard to see from the top. They all blend into one mushy cuddle bun.
They're one big Boston Terrier, right?
Exactly. So, welcome to the show. We'll be talking about the most recent episode of Arrow that just occurred, and it was a good episode. I thought a lot of stuff happened in there. It's funny. One of Eric Duncan, our marketing guy. I said to him, so did you see Arrow this week? And he pushed himself back from the desk, looked at me, and dude, he just didn't like the episode. It was like full of plot holes and all this kind of stuff. I was expecting to just be hating on it.
Don't be hating.
And I wasn't. There was nothing wrong with the episode that I could find. I don't know what his damage was with this episode. I know you had some things going on with it, but I feel like these things that both maybe the two of you are reacting to were by design. Like you were supposed to react that way. You know what I mean? So let's go into the No.
I don't know if we were supposed to react that way.
Yeah!
Were you serious?
All right, well, we'll talk about it. And then later, you can be the judge by the end.
You decide.
You decide. You make the call. Okay, so it opens up. Actually, I'm going to go out of chronological order here because there's a lot of stuff going on. But basically, we have stuff going on in Nanda Parbat, and we have stuff going on in Starling City.
Right.
Let's take the Nanda Parbat stuff. Ollie wakes up finally. And we realize there was no magic, no mysticism, no weirdness going on.
Nope.
Tatsu, who is Masayo's wife, we learned they are totally estranged.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened back in the day when they were working together in Singapore, I think it is, or Hong Kong. I forget exactly where, to be honest with you.
And we don't really know what that is.
We don't.
My theory is like she finally had it because she was tired of the toilet seat being up.
Really?
I don't know.
What? Toilets are different in Asia, though. They don't even think they have toilets and seats.
Yes, they do.
No, it's like this, like 3-inch sunken. You just sort of squat over it and let it all go.
You wouldn't replace the toilet paper. These are all things that women divorce their husbands on. So.
Okay, I actually think it has to do with their son because I haven't seen their son around. So it's got to be something to do with their son.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. That would be the major thing. So. He wakes up. She basically says, the cold temperature and all of that is probably what saved your life. Like you went into hibernation or something. I mean, no, that when you're bleeding out, that kills you. That's called exposure. You die for that. You don't freeze somebody and be like, let's thaw him out. He's probably all better.
And the writer's like, I know, it was so cold it caused his blood coagulation, so his liver that was profusely bleeding stopped bleeding.
Although, maybe we're wrong.
That's a great idea.
We might have to eat some crow on this one. I don't know. I know certainly if you're in cold water, the effects of brain damage slow down if you're not getting oxygen. Right? That's true.
I think that has to do with it's like an inflammatory.
And so maybe that's true of blood.
Swelling.
Maybe his massive wounds froze shut and it couldn't bleed anymore, so he didn't have blood loss. I mean, I don't know, but anyway.
But eventually you thaw out.
Yeah, you thought he's alive. He's alive, and there was
really good.
no special mumbo jumbo to do it. Who looks really good? Stephen Amell?
Yeah. Besides like the bandage that's around
like
him and his little limp.
You mean candy wise, or what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about like you would expect him to be covered with bruise. Have some scrapes, but he's just all like perfectly manscaped and oiled.
Manscaped.
And there's not a mark on him.
Oh God, what's next? No, you're doing the nipple.
Oh, not the nipple. Come on.
Not the nipple. Not the nipple.
Not
please.
the nipple.
Please, Cal, hold my hand.
You kidding me, man?
Hold my goddamn hand, man. Do it. Just hold. Okay, here we go. Ooh, 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 no. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, nipple fuck.
His hair is
and
perfect.
Oiled. Manscaped and oiled.
Like literally, I was like, he should still be a little he should have like scrapes. I mean, he fell down a mountainside
I know.
with like trees and
I know.
rocks.
Well,
and
you know what I think it is?
he should be swollen, black eye, and like have a
I think that,
couple of broken ribs at least.
I think they've given him so many scars from the island that the makeup artists are like, we would have to do makeup application 2 days in advance if we added more scars.
I'm talking about some scrapes,
okay.
which aren't permanent.
Just some minor abrasions.
Some bruising. There should be like black and blue crap like on his body, but no, he's just got this bandage and he's kind of limping along, and I'm like, oh my god, the man just got like, you know, pretty much impaled, went down a mountain probably 150 feet. You know, down the white fluffy snow, which is not, it's like probably totally icy. I don't get it. Like, he should have a pine cone
Okay, so I
sticking out
guess
of
you
his
agree with
shoulder.
Eric. There's plot hole number 1 right there, and I kind of agree with you
Yes.
guys that it's an unlikely survival. I was thinking they'd be going toward Lazarus Pit here to make this happen, but they didn't.
Which would have been so cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool, and to be honest with you, more believable. But let's get past that. Look, there's a lot of superheroes that die and they come back, and there's a lot of wacky reasons as to how. But we accept it because they're the hero of the story, and we root for them and all that stuff. So let's move past that one. Let's just chalk that up to comic book death, rebirth shenanigans, okay?
Soap
All right.
opera, here we go.
Yeah. Now, Masao and Tatsu are estranged. He's going to leave, go back to Nanda Parbat, and be with Raish. And Ali and Tatsu are trying to convince him otherwise. Where
is Nanda Parbat supposed to be?
apparently it's like 3 hours from Starling City, because I don't see how people are getting back and forth that fast. But
Unless there's
whatever.
Like a strange time portal.
It's actually
or...
it is like kind of a mystical place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like that would be like Philippines.
No, it's
Or
like up in the
Thailand
Himalayas
or
or something
Himalayas?
like that. Yeah. It's like up in a snowy mountain somewhere. It's like Shangri-La, right? It's like really freaking hard to find. Anyway,
Google Maps.
yeah. Now,
I'm gonna wait a minute, where's my phone? Siri.
Siri, find me Nanda Parbat. What kind of meat would you like to cook with your Parmesan? Damn it, Siri! I want Nanda Parbat. The temperature outside is 72 degrees. Siri! That's their only saving grace. Siri doesn't work. That's why Nanda Parbat's still a secret. Okay, so anyway, Masao goes back. He's going to go back, but the League track him to this cabin that they're in, and he and Tatsu and Ali have to kill them all. Bad news. And he has to go back now and still sort of maintain his cover. And he and Tatsu kiss. And he definitely is like, oh, that hurt my heart. But I got to go anyway. So we don't know what's going on with them. And Ali, I think it returns next week. So we know he's going to take the 3-hour plane ride from Nanda Parbat back to Starling City. Now, main storyline going on.
And you know what? I think he'll be completely healed.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably. We'll see. And another storyline going on is Merlin's trying to get Thea to leave. Because the League is after him, and her probably as well.
He is such a manipulator.
He's great on the show.
I know.
I love him. His
The
character.
actor is John Barrowman?
I think so.
Something like that.
I think so. Yeah, John Barrowman, I think his name is. A great actor, does a great job at that character. Really like him as Merlin, probably one of my favorite villains that's been on the show. And he's trying to get Thea to leave with him, and she doesn't want to go. She's like, why? Why not stay and fight? Because it's Raish and the League of Cirque de Soleil assassins. You do not fuck with ninjas that can appear out of nowhere on a silk curtain.
Now,
It is just rule number 1. It's a rule to live by.
So here's the thing. He is trying to get her to leave by saying they're in danger. And I think he says that to her, so they get to stay. So it's not his decision to say, it's
Maybe,
hers.
maybe.
I think he is a master manipulator. He's incredibly intelligent, and he seemed
It's
pretty
possible.
damn pleased that they were staying.
Yeah. It's possible, but I'm not sure he realizes how close the League is to Thea right now, because that DJ's actually revealed himself as being in the League of Assassins.
Right. Well, maybe he does know.
He might.
It's Merlin.
He might.
Merlin knows everything.
He might.
Most
Perhaps
of
he's
everything.
wondering why you'd shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
I'm waiting for Bane to show up now. You know. Anyway, so there's a League member in the club next to Thea. And then the other storyline is the main one back in Starling City, which is Brick. Brick is basically throwing down. He like takes hostages. People are getting killed. He takes these hostages at this one meeting of the town aldermans where Ray Palmer is trying to convince, or help the police and giving them money and stuff like that. And he gets kind of shot up, and there's all this terror. Like, people get killed and kidnapped. It's crazy. And Brick comes in, just doesn't care at all. He's just, I don't care about the law. Whatever, bring it on. Kidnaps these people. Felicity and Ray are almost killed, but there's some action that happens, and he fights back. And then they have a little sort of bonding love story thing going on here too. Ray's like, all I could think about when it first happened was my dead wife, but then while it happened, all I could think about was protecting you. And then Felicity turns around and says, and she says this to Laurel later, maybe we should keep doing this because we have people we need to protect. So she's not falling to pieces anymore like she was last episode, which is kind of cool. But meanwhile, Laurel is playing the Black Canary role and doing a shitty job at it. And this is where I think you got annoyed, right? You were super annoyed at Laurel and Black Canary.
Right, because when Laurel was training, and I forget the guy who was training her. Don't remember.
It's Wildcat.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's holding her own. First with
boxing.
Wildcat, well, boxing, but
yeah.
no, she's really training hard. She's training with great people. And then when she's Black Canary and she's in an alleyway and it's just some run-of-the-mill trash kind of, thug, she gets her ass kicked.
But
here she's training with Wildcat, and
right.
she, the more training she does, she really is holding her own, and she's being all badass. And then I don't know what happened.
Well, first of all, it's because she gets nostalgic.
Wig.
No, it's the staff. So she sits here training with a guy on how to be a martial artist, which is what Black Canary does. She doesn't use a staff. She uses her fists and her feet, right? She's trained to be a martial artist, and then she decides in honor of her sister, she's going to pick up her sister's staff. Well, she doesn't know how to use it. I can't tell you the amount of times she gets punched in the face, cut by a knife, trips on something, gets off balance, is almost shot. It's unbelievable, the amount of bungles.
She's completely flailing.
Yeah.
And while she's flailing, it's a little bit of the... and I was just like, oh, I can't watch.
This is setting women back 50 years.
No. It was just disappointing.
Yeah, it was a little... The cool thing about it, though, was that, when she realized... When that one alderman got killed... she basically is like, this is stupid. I can't. I'm not ready for this. She finally admits she's not ready for this, and then Felicity convinces her to do it anyway. And so Roy has to look out for her and all this kind of stuff. So, and then the one cool thing she does was the most unbelievably unrealistic thing I've ever seen, where she actually she takes on Brick and nearly gets her ass kicked, but she leaps out of a window
which I would expect. It's Brick,
a waiting
right?
helicopter. Rope ladder, which I don't know how she even saw, but she leaps out the window and she does it face first, I mean, she the lacerations that I would have expected her to be more
normally it's
covered up.
Protect the face.
She's right through the glass,
and she just gets the rope on the helicopters.
Maybe it's a Kevlar wig. It protected her from her face from the glass or something like that.
Formed a barrier.
There's
a lot of hairspray.
Exactly. So cool stuff. Otherwise, I didn't think it was that bad. Paul Blackthorne, who plays Laurel's dad on there, Detective Lance, was really good. He's always great on the show. I really like seeing him on there. He was in a Dresden File series that was on Sci-Fi, very short-lived. To be honest with you, he was very good on it, but I don't think Jim Butcher had a lot of control, who's the author of Dresden Files, of that show, and it just really, it didn't work. Not because of him. He was really good. The only other person I could see playing Dresden better than him would be Nathan Fillion. But Nathan Fillion's not he's not Firefly Nathan Fillion anymore. No. He's not Malcolm Reynolds all cut and ripped.
He's Castle.
He's I'm a rich millionaire author enjoying the success of my, show, and I eat a lot of sandwiches. He's that Nathan Fillion now. But I still love that show. I love Castle. Great show. So thanks for tuning in of this episode of Spyt-Takes about the latest Arrow. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Later.